What's new from Apple? There's the new iPhone 16 Pro, built for Apple Intelligence. And it comes with the all-new camera control, giving you an easier way to quickly access your camera tools. The new Apple Watch Series 10 has our biggest display and our thinnest design ever. And this? It's the sound of active noise cancellation, now available on one of 2 new AirPods 4 models. So quiet. Check out all of the new products and new features at apple.com. You can even buy yourself something new. See apple.com for product availability updates. Apple Intelligence coming this fall.
Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA. Introducing our biggest GMC Acadia ever. Offering bigger screens, bigger views, and even bigger journeys. Live your biggest life in the all-new GMC Acadia.
And though you will try to always get it right, the beauty of life lives inside of you. And I hope someday you find it too.
You've heard all the ads and seen the shops for CBD, and maybe you've wondered, what's the hype? Cannabidiol is known for its ability to provide non-habit-forming relaxation, and now you can have it in a convenient nasal spray. You can take it anywhere. Just go to simplyherbals.net. That's simplyherbals.net. And check out Dr. Scott's Buffered Saline CBD nasal spray. Just a couple of toots. You'll see why he's America's top CBD nasal spray. While you're there, check out his line of supplements from fatigue reprieve to stress less. Dr. Scott has it all. That's simplyherbals.net. Simplyherbals.net.
Wow, that is very interesting. Please tell me more.
I don't care. I don't care. My jokes don't go over. I don't care. I don't care. Who does not care?
If you just read the bio for Dr. Steve, host of Weird Medicine on Sirius XM 103 and made popular by 2 really comedy shows, Opie and Anthony and Ron and Fez, you would have thought that this guy was a bit of, a clown.
Why can't you give me the respect that I'm entitled to?
I've got diphtheria crushing my esophagus. I've got Ebola virus dripping from my nose. I've got the leprosy of the heart valve, exacerbating my incredible woes. I want to take my brain out and blast it with the wave, an ultrasonic, echographic, and a pulsating shave. I want a magic pill for all my ailments, the health equivalent of Citizen Kane. And if I don't get it now in the tablet, I think I'm doomed and I'll have to go insane. I want a requiem for my disease, so I'm paging Dr. Steve. Dr. Steve!
From the world-famous Cardiff Electric Network studios in beautiful downtown Tukey City, it's Weird Medicine, the first and still only uncensored medical show in the history of broadcast radio. Now a podcast. I'm Dr. Steve with my little pal, Dr. Scott, traditional Chinese medicine provider. Gives me street cred with the wacko alternative medicine assholes. Hello, Dr. Scott.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
Hey, hang on a second. I'm getting a phone call. Tacie's calling. Hang on. She's out of town. I want to make sure it's not an emergency. Hey, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Hey, I was just watching the news with Julie, and there's something I think you guys could talk about on the show today.
Okay. Yeah, tell me about it.
Okay, so Biden is in the hospital.
What?
Did you hear about it?
Now, what happened?
Well, he can't stop Putin.
Oh, well,
You suckers have fun doing the radio show.
Okay, you suck. Okay, bye.
He does not care. I don't care.
All right. This is a show for people who have never listened to a medical show on the radio or the internet. If you got a question you're embarrassed to take to your regular medical provider, if you can't find an answer anywhere else, give us a call at 347-766-4323. That's 347-POO-HIT. Follow us on Twitter at Weird Medicine or at DrScottWM. Lady Diagnosis, do you still have your Twitter?
I think, yes.
Well, she doesn't know. Don't worry about it.
I think I do.
Okay, visit our website at drsteve.com for podcasts, medical news, and stuff you can buy. Most importantly, we're not your medical providers. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt. Don't act on anything you hear on the show without talking it over with your healthcare provider. And I want to introduce Lady Diagnosis. Not been here for a while. Hello, Lady Diagnosis.
Thank you, Dr. Steve.
Excellent. Nice for you to, nice to see you. And also NP Mel B. Yay. A fan favorite. I almost did the Navage last night, your trick. I was in the middle of a live stream and I had my histamine thing happen. I was like talking like this and I was sneezing. I had to stop the live stream and I was like, I really should just go get the Navage and just do it live. What the hell? And just lean into it.
You know, I've not done it since.
Really?
Yes, really. It's sitting in my cabinet. Just sits there. Yeah.
But it worked though.
Yes, it did, but...
And you said it wasn't as horrible as you thought it would be,
no,
sticking something in your nose.
I was going to die.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go to our playlist. I think it's just videos, and it's NP Mel B does the Navage. I love it. It was one of the more tame bits that we ever did, but we had the inventor of the thing on the line.
Yeah,
so
he
that
was incredibly nice.
Yeah, he was very nice. Tried to talk her through it. It was impossible. Then he got off because he was afraid that if you did it and you went, ew, I hate it, that he would be on there and it would be like he was endorsing people not liking his device. So he had to leave. But actually, you did very well.
It worked. It was great. But
yeah. She just doesn't like putting things in her nose.
I have a thing with my nose.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you'll never have a collapsed nasal septum from cocaine. And,
no.
You know,
that will never happen.
Okay, good. Well, good. All right. Well, anyway, so stuff.drsteve.com is back. It's very rudimentary. I just got started. We have a new affiliate agreement, and amazingly, it's with Walmart. And actually, they have all the same crap that Amazon had, and they're less dickholes about it. So,
well, good.
Yeah, now don't tell anybody, but, you know, we got booted by Amazon, but they're still sending us checks every month. But that'll go away. I know. I don't even care if they hear it, but that'll go away because nobody's, you know, buying stuff using that link anymore. And good.
Bastards.
What?
Good riddance.
Stupid, dumb people.
Well, they were dumb. All that happened was somebody asked me, hey, can I find this book somewhere? And so I went on, found the book, and it attaches our link to it with, you know, the app that I have. And so I sent them that, and they bought it using that link. And then Amazon the next day shut us down saying, we don't know where your links are coming from. It's like, why do you care? Why do you care where they're coming from? As long as they're legit people buying stuff. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we also on stuff.drsteve.com have Naked Wines. It's a cool wine club. I pay $40 a month. You can pay less than that. Mm-hmm. But what you do is you build up a bank of dough, and then you get wine from small boutique wineries for next to nothing.
That would be a great birthday gift.
It actually would be kind of cool. And but their wine is, you know, you can get some as little as $8, and it's way better than what you buy at the liquor store for $8. You know, that stuff's pretty much shite. Mm-hmm. But this is really good. And, you know, some of it's more expensive, some of it's more highfalutin. But Tacie has no palate whatsoever when it comes to wine. So I just get her, you know, the cheapest cab that they've got. And a lot of times I don't pay anything because I already paid in. So it helps to support small wineries. And you get really cool, different wine that none of your friends are going to have. And you just go to stuff.drsteve.com, scroll to the bottom if you want to check it out. And anyway, and check out all the things on Walmart. I never thought I'd be saying that. But every single thing that we had listed on our Amazon site, Walmart had it. So Walmart's kind of changed.
Cool.
You know, I still go to the brick and mortar place, you know, hardware store when I can and all that stuff. But we all know the deal with Walmart. But anyway, so I'm not saying anything bad about them. No. I'm just saying that I find it interesting that they've kind of come in, Anyway, I'll shut up before I screw up
Move
that
on,
one, too.
move along.
I got to move along. Roadie.drsteve.com, ROADIE, for the Roadie robotic tuner. And it will tune basically any stringed instrument. Mm-hmm. And Brian May said these bloody bastards came out with this at the end of my career. He was so impressed by it. Mm-hmm. So check it out. They also have a thing called the Roadie Coach, which will teach you how to play. So who was it that was here last time?
Rain.
Oh, Rain. Okay. So I have to get somebody to take a Roadie Coach home. I gave one to one of our former partners who doesn't live here anymore, who moved to New Jersey with one of our former listeners. And I don't think either one of them listen anymore. It's fine. It's whatever. It served its purpose. No. But she took hers with her, so I can't get her in here. And then I gave one to another person who's probably not going to come to the studio. So I've still got to find somebody to practice. Do you have a guitar that you don't know how to play? Well, okay. Well, that's kind of a prerequisite.
Rain will do it. She's got this. She has a guitar.
Yeah, Rain has a guitar. She doesn't.
She doesn't have
any.
She had the shit to do anyway. So
maybe we can make it a thing. Get somebody to give me a guitar, just a cheap plain guitar.
Okay.
And I'll learn to play it.
Okay. Well,
and then I'll take the wine club if we're doing that.
Well, there you go.
Okay. There you go. Yeah, that used to be your bit. Was Lady Diagnosis will do anything for an expensive bottle of wine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The good old days.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I want to learn to play the guitar. I think that would be fun.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll do that. We could do. There's no reason we couldn't do more than one. Mm-hmm. Maybe we could have a competition between you and Rain and see who's better after.
You know how I love competition.
Yes.
Oh.
I have to be number one.
I know. She is.
There won't be much of a challenge.
No, she's Ichiban at work. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
I'm the only
that's
one
listening,
that
but she is Ichiban. I even gave her an Ichiban award.
Yes.
That's funny.
Yeah, because she was number one so many times in a row, and still is. You were this month too. So there you go. Yeah. Again, nobody cares.
No.
Other than us. Check us out on patreon.com/weirdmedicine, doing some new things. I got some live streams on there. The Dregs, which is the part of the show when we end the show and start just bullshitting and then playing music and stuff, that goes up on Patreon. So the YouTube regular, the mundanes, as the Dragon Con people will call normal people. Oh, there's going to be mundanes here. It's like, okay, you're wearing your cosplay, Witcher outfit. Just calm down. Nobody cares. But the mundanes will only get the beginning of the show and the end of the show. And everybody on Patreon, they get the rest of it. And then cameo.com/Weird Medicine. I did one today, and I did a couple while I was in Dallas for the eclipse, which was kind of cool. And Nick Illig, who is Captain Mike's brother, is constantly sending Patreon or Cameo requests. It's like, Nick, I'll just do this for free for you. Your brother is part of our family. But anyway, but yeah, check that out. Cameo.com/Weird Medicine. Check out the episode of Normal World. And let me see if I should have prepped this ahead of time. I forgot. But Normal World, I got to do a sketch with them. And it's, no spoilers, but it's a doomsday cult. You know how those go. And it is the episode 114. Jeff Dye is wet and reckless. I think. Let me just.
In all its glory.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, there's your preview.
It's hilarious.
So episode 114 of Normal World. Yeah. I could play it. Well, let me play the first just couple of seconds of it. They won't care.
Just give them a taste.
Yeah, I'll give you a taste. Let's see. So it says a normal cult meeting, and you can see there's an eclipse getting ready to happen, and their logo is an eclipse. Okay.
My children, the time of the great solar eclipse is upon us. Soon the moon will pass between the earth and the sun, and the mothership will reveal itself to us in all its glory. Then we will shed our fleshy vehicles and attain the next level.
Yes, O Great One.
First, you must ingest the celestial elixir.
Is that the raspberry Snapple?
Okay, so that's where we'll end that. Don't want to spoil anything. But anyway, it's...
What the hell was that?
It's funny. You got to watch it.
That was a... It sounded like a familiar voice speaking to us. Wasn't it?
Anyway, it was sort of a Heaven's Gate parody, although there wasn't anything funny about what happened to those people. But
No.
Anyway.
I love it.
All right.
Good stuff.
So there you go. Hello, Lady Diagnosis.
Hello, Dr. Steve.
What do you have for us today?
Well, I've got a question. Can I go ahead and dive right in?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so if you have to poop and you hold it in, what happens? Because eventually the urge to poop goes away.
Correct.
And I think I have figured out that it turns to a rock. Is that correct?
Eventually it will.
Okay.
There are kids with a condition called Encopresis. And these are kids that are constantly shitting their pants, and their parents think, well, they don't know how to control their stool or whatever. That's really not what's going on. If your kid is 12, 13, 14, and they're constantly pooping their pants, they have encopresis, and there's something going on. So what's happened is a lot of times they have to go at school,
right,
and then they won't go. So they hold it and hold it and hold it because they don't want to go in that bathroom. And there's a lot of reasons why we need to just have individual bathrooms in schools.
Agreed.
Lots of reasons these days.
yes.
Think about it for 5 minutes. But and anybody who went to school back in my time, unless you were one of the cool guys, you dreaded going in there. So anyway, the kid holds it and holds it and holds it. And as Lady Diagnosis correctly pointed out, the feeling goes away. Well, maybe it doesn't come back. And then the next day, they start having the urge at school and they hold it again. And then they get exactly what you said, a colon full of concrete, but also the bowel loses the ability to sense when it's full. Because they've held it so long, it's just desensitized it to it. So the bowel expands and gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it gets to a certain size, and then it just gives up. And it never, regains its ability to sense the stool. So what happens now is they've got this colon that's full of poop, and more is coming, so it just pushes it out. And so now these kids look like they're just shitting their pants all the time. And it's like, well, wait a minute. I potty trained you when you were, 2.5. Why are you all of a sudden now? So very often it is a psychological factor that they're holding their stool for a certain reason. Maybe they have a rectal fissure. That happens. They get, some of these kids have terrible diet and they get this big giant, American hard turd that causes a rectal fissure. Now it hurts for them to move their bowels. So it could be that. Or they're holding it because they're terrified to go into the bathroom at school. And it's one of the two things usually. And so you got to talk to them about it. And there is a protocol for this. But yes, that's what happens when you hold it too many times. Now, as an adult, if you just don't want to take a dump in your car because you're driving home and you hold it and the feeling goes away, it'll kick back in when you get back home and you can move your bowels. If it doesn't, then you could use a stimulant laxative or something like that. But if you continue to do that, that's what happens. Now, the protocol, since there may be some people out there going, oh gosh, that's my kid. The protocol for encopresis is to completely clean them out. So you have to give them enemas.
And start all over. Huh?
And you got to give them, laxatives from above, which would be like Miralax or polyethylene glycol. That's from above. We give them a bowel prep, basically.
Okay.
And get them completely cleaned out. And when you decompress the bowel, if you keep it decompressed, and then they'll continue to give them laxatives. A lot of times they'll give them mineral oil.
Oh, wow.
And you'll keep giving them mineral oil until you can see it leaking out of their ass. And then you've given them enough.
Right on.
And you want to keep that bowel decompressed because over time it will regain the ability to sense poop, and then they'll go normally again.
okay.
Gotcha.
But don't yell at them. They can't help it. They don't know why it's happening either. It's not like they're like, oh, well, I'm just not going to,
Because your stomach would hurt eventually, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yes, but not in these kids.
Right.
Or sometimes they have chronic abdominal pain. They just don't even think about it.
Hmm.
Hello, Mel B.
What's up?
It's NP Mel B, everybody, and we're just talking about encopresis.
Poop.
Yep. Kids shit in their drawers. Now, my tent mate in Boy Scout camp had encopresis. And he was just known as, the guy that shit his pants all the time. Nobody knew what was going on. And he was a nice kid. I really liked him. But he just constantly was shitting his pants, and that's what it was. And I remember one time we were in the lake. We were all in the lake swimming together, and this turd just floated.
Oh, Lord.
And I looked at him. I went, seriously, dude? And he just gave me that sheepish look. Yeah, she had just shit in the lake.
That has to suck for
Poor
him.
bastard. Anyway, I hope he got better. But most of those kids eventually will get better as they get older, but it's hard to survive the stigma of crapping your pants, and particularly in middle school.
Yuck.
So again, if
These
your kid
kids
is
are
doing
so
that,
mean.
let me look and see if this protocol, because we use this on one of my kids, and it's called You Can Poop Too. Let me see. The letter U, can poop to.com. Let me see if it still exists. No, it says it's not secure, but it still exists. Let me see. Yep. Okay. Yep. It is an Encopresis help site. Oh, and it has a picture of Millie Bobby Brown on there. Why do they have that? That's horrendous. I hope she actually had Encopresis and she agreed.
Worked through it, baby.
And she agreed to having her picture on a website about people who shit their pants.
Bless it.
Was it 2 million children in the United States have encopresis? Means they cannot control their bowel movements, have poop accidents in their underwear. Sometimes people use the words soiling or fecal incontinence. They put that in quotes to mean encopresis.
So at what stage do you have to get surgery to have it unimpacted?
Well, you would not normally ever have to have surgery. Enemas usually will do it. But every once in a while, I've had maybe 2 in my career where the gastroenterologist had to go into the colon.
You better have us get some music for this one, I think.
Oh, okay. You want some good music?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
we need some music for this.
I'm feeling in the mood.
Oh, wait. No, wrong one. There we go.
So they have to go into the colon with a colonoscope and just chip it out. No, it's not it doesn't really deserve sexy music. But anyway. All right.
Well, sometimes they actually have to kind of remove it like with their fingers, just a digital, removal of some of the stool if it's close enough to get it with your finger.
Right. Yeah, you can do manual disinfection.
Yeah.
We also have milk and molasses enemas.
No,
Mel B,
never heard of that.
Are you serious?
No.
Mel B, you were a nurse.
Yes.
I mean, you're still a nurse.
Is,
but,
technically.
I mean, did you ever do milk and molasses enema?
I did not.
Wait a minute, your mic's not on, honey.
Hey, sweet.
Hang on. Okay, now you can turn it on. So, yeah, okay.
Better?
Yeah, that's
There
way
you go.
better.
Yeah.
So, did you ever do a milk and molasses enema?
No, never did milk and molasses, but I did talk to a doctor about it once. We ended up doing soap suds instead.
Okay, yeah. So milk and molasses enema, you take milk and molasses, hence the name, and then you instill it into the colon. And my hypothesis always was because turds would just come shooting out of these people's rectums when you did that. I think that the bacteria in the colon would start to crack the milk and the molasses, and it would create gas, and it would just sort of force the stool out. Because it really worked. And then they stopped doing them for a while, and then now we can do them again. So anyway, there you go. All right. So, yeah, Millie Bobby Brown's on the Encopresis site. So maybe she had Encopresis. As a matter of fact, let's Google that and see if her name comes up in association with Encopresis. Encopresis. And, okay. Nope. Okay, it says Millie Bobby Brown wrote a book, then it got weird. Does Millie Bobby Brown have a disability? And does it say if she has partial hearing loss? Nothing about Encopresis. Oh, no, wait a minute. Anyone dealing with Encopresis? And then it says Millie Bobby Brown under there. So let me just see here. Let's do a, Control F, Millie. And then no, nothing comes up. So I don't know why her picture is on here. But anyway, it's the website the letter U, can poop 2TOO.com. And it used to be free. I think they charged a little something. Now, this was a university program originally, but it's very helpful, and it gives you that whole protocol of cleaning the kid out, keeping them cleaned out, and then having them sit on the pot and trying to poop, and then getting back into a routine. But ask your kid if it hurts when they poop, because it probably does, or are they being messed with at school? Those are the two things. Yep, the two big things. Okay. All right.
Got it.
That was a good one, Lady Diagnosis. I'll give you a bell for that.
A bell.
Tacie will get mad about that one. She is very proprietary about those damn bells.
She is.
Anyway, Mel B, you got anything for us today? Anything gross or disgusting? Or
I did see that STDs are on the rise for people over 55.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yay.
I turn 55 next month.
That means they
Wear a condom.
We're in trouble.
That means they fucking know.
That's true. I'm in trouble. I'll be 56 next month.
Good for them.
Just say no, Scott.
I'll just have to use some protection, I guess.
Yeah, the CDC says reports are on the rise.
I'd like
chlamydia is running wild in the nursing homes.
At least try to get an STD.
Yeah, I'd like to. So let me ask you something. Are they detecting more, or is there really having more? Because I know, what I've heard is that place, the Villages in Florida, is just rife with
number
STDs.
one in the United States.
It's
is
not
that
just
true,
like
though?
nursing homes
totally.
and places like that. It's everywhere.
Yeah, and there was a dude that got busted down there for having a whole bucket full of Viagras and Cialises that he had brought in from China.
Oh, really?
Well, and I think that's part of the reason
I
that
guarantee it.
numbers are rising is because men have a way of getting treatment for erectile dysfunction.
Oh, you
so
think
people
that's
are
what it
just
is?
having more sex.
Oh, heck yeah.
If you go to stuff.drsteve.com, there's a non-pharmacologic treatment for erectile dysfunction, which is the shockwave therapy. And that's been it's got some decent data. At the right energy levels, it stimulates stem cells and, increases blood flow and all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of different things now. There's the PDE5 inhibitors, phosphodiesterase inhibitors that increase nitric oxide, which increases blood flow into the penis and helps restrict blood flow out of it. So if you're pumping more than you're pumping out, stuff's going to happen, right? Then now we have apomorphine. Apomorphine is a great erectile dysfunction drug for people who don't respond to just the PDE5 inhibitors by themselves. But the thing about apomorphine is, if your dog eats a pound of chocolate and you take them to the vet, they give them a shot and it makes them throw up, right? Mm-hmm. Well, that shot is apomorphine. That's what they use. So if you take too much of this stuff, the reason it never made it onto the market as an FDA approved pharmaceutical from a pharmaceutical company was because there was so much nausea. But if you get it in really low doses in places like online pharmacies like Rugiet or any compounding pharmacy, they'll mix 2 milligrams of that with say 20 milligrams of Cialis, and it works better than the Cialis alone. So anyway,
well, there you go.
Here we go. This is what the AI is telling me, and AI never lies. The Villages, Florida is known as the STD capital of America. Now, it's maybe known as that. Doesn't mean that statistically there's more, but let's see. In the media, but this myth has been debunked. Oh, boo.
No.
The number of Floridians reporting a new STD has tripled over the past decade, but state data shows that 3 counties the Villages reside in have much lower transmission rates than most of Florida. For example,
not buying
treatment and some
Not
condoms.
buying it.
Dr.
Not buying it.
Marivek Villa, an internist who runs a health clinic in the Villages, says she doesn't see many STDs. Well, they're not going to tell her.
That's because they're going off campus to get some treatment.
I would say that's true.
They have their private docs off campus.
The myth has appeared in the New York Post and the Daily Mail, and often cites signs that the Villages are engaging in casual sex or dating as an evidence of heavy transmission within the retirement community. However, research of the nightlife in the Villages found many one-night stands and serial monogamy, but not a swinger scene. Well, nobody's saying it's a swinger scene. It's just one-night stands.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I'm going there.
No commitment.
Look, there's some
commitment,
hot
that's
old
right.
ladies.
Yeah.
So
just got to be careful with those total hips.
Well,
Today's episode is brought to you by Angie. Angie has made it easier than ever to connect with skilled professionals to get all your jobs and projects done well. Let me tell you, there's the version of it where you try to do something at home, and then there's a version of it where you have someone help you, you watch them do it the right way, and you go, thank God I didn't try to do that myself. I have fully done things around the home that I think look good, and then a bang in the night, and I wake up to a shelf collapsing, a painting falling off the wall. I've seen it all go south. I own a home, and I can tell you, I know how much work it can take. Whether it's everyday maintenance and repairs or making dream projects a reality, it can be hard just to know where to start. But now all you need to do is Angie that and find a skilled local pro who will deliver the quality and expertise you need. Whatever your home project, big or small, indoor or outdoor, you can Angie that and connect with skilled professionals to get the project done well. Right now, one of my wish lists is I want a bike for my condo in Milwaukee, and I would love to rig it up on a pulley in the ceiling because I have one of those like lofted ceilings, but I'm so scared to try that on my own. Angie has 20 years of home experience, and they've combined it with new tools to simplify the whole process. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app. Answer a few questions and Angie can handle the rest from start to finish, or help you compare quotes from multiple pros and connect instantly, which means you can take care of any home project in just a few taps. Because when it comes to getting the most out of your home, you can do this when you Angie that. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
Earning your degree online doesn't mean you have to go about it alone. At Capella University, we're here to support you when you're ready. From enrollment counselors who get to know you and your goals, to academic coaches who can help you form a plan to stay on track. We care about your success and are dedicated to helping you pursue your goals. Going back to school is a big step, but having support at every step of your academic journey can make a big difference. Imagine your future differently at capella.edu.
Hear that? Yeah, that's the sound of you relaxing, because now you're managing diabetes with the Freestyle Libre 3 system. You get to know your glucose levels and where it's headed. Manage your diabetes with more confidence with the Freestyle Libre 3 system. Ready to learn more about the #1 prescribed CGM in the U.S.? Visit freestylelibre.us to learn more. Based on retail sales data for patients' last filled prescription by manufacturer. Refer to the FLAIR NL4 study published in BMJ Open Diabetes Research and Care 2019. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
This episode is brought to you by Dove. You use all the right skincare products for your face, but your body has been missing out. With new Dove Serum Body Wash, you can give your body the vitamin C glow it's been wanting, the hydration boost it's been craving, and the active skincare ingredients it deserves. It's time for your body care era. New Dove Serum Body Wash. Get Dove or get FOMO.
ABC Wednesday. It's the premiere everyone is talking about.
I'm Joan, and I'm your first Golden Bachelorette.
Loves getting a second chance.
When you're 61 years old, you have very few opportunities to change your life. I have to be ready.
The Golden Bachelorette is proving romance never ages.
I represent millions of people in their golden years looking for love.
The Golden Bachelorette.
I am ready to find the next great love of my life.
Series premiere Wednesday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
I think I'm probably fixated on that because of my, early experience as a 17-year-old, having my virginity, taken by a 44-year-old and almost by a 65-year-old with the greatest tits I've still ever seen to this day. So there you go. Present company not,
of course,
excluded.
Of course.
Excluded.
Thank God.
Well, thank you, Dr. Steve.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, still my biggest regret. I didn't stick around
for round 2.
Yeah, to have round 2 with the 65-year-old. It was 7 in the morning, and I'd been up all night, and I was totally freaked out.
As
You know, what a
should
weird,
be.
yes, what a weird first experience. You know, usually it's like your girlfriend and it's uncomfortable and
In
you
the
don't know.
back seat.
Yeah, and neither one of you know what the hell's going on. In this case, the 44-year-old really did not know what was going on.
no,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, she wasn't passed out. I don't mean that. I mean, she was able to give consent. I mean, she was terrible.
Oh, my God.
Here
No,
we
no, no.
go.
I'm saying, you know, well,
We may have to rewind that
why?
tape.
No, I'm saying she
wasn't completely
So she
passed out.
knows
It wasn't.
has a little.
She was cognizant of what was going on. She just didn't know how to have intercourse in any sort of entertaining way.
Do we need to have an episode about consent?
No
There
means
you
no.
go. That's
No,
right.
this has nothing to do with consent. I'm making sure that everybody's aware of that because of the way I said she didn't know what was going on.
If she can't tell you her birthday,
It was a
or whose
fucking joke.
presents-
You God damn it. Fuck off.
What I needed, douchebag.
I am too smart. I am too smart. I am too smart.
Well, that's
I am
because
too
you're
smart.
an idiot.
Yes, yeah, Mark.
We better be good. He's going to kick us out.
Oh,
You're just stupid. But anyway. No, it's. Listen.
We're here-
there's
we're here-
there
we're
was
here
no
for you.
issues with consent. I couldn't give consent. I was 17. You know, I could. You know that if we want to talk about consent, you know, I was a minor. I wasn't allowed to give.
Oh,
consent.
you were consenting, though. I bet
But I
you.
did give consent. Fuck yeah, I did. I was
over
all
and
about it.
over.
But I just, in retrospect, absolutely the worst intercourse that I've ever had. And you think, well, how could anybody, you know, a woman particularly, be bad at intercourse? All they do have to do is really lay there. But you know that's really not true. It's no fun.
So she's dead now, right? So
I don't
she's not
know.
going to be listening to this.
She's
and go,
not
"Damn
listening
it.
anyway.
Damn him.
Yeah, but I would think as many times as I've told that story that they would have called in by now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you know, one of them has got to be. I think we calculated she'd have to be 96 now. Oh, and there was this delightful young man, and I took his virginity. You know, okay. So 44 minus 17 is what? That's what, 24? Is that no 27?
More than that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
No.
15.
Okay,
23,
why am I
20,
such an idiot?
Like 28 or
30.
something.
It's not 30.
I think it's 12.
Oh my God.
I think it's 27.
Echo, it's 27.
I already
27.
forgot.
Echo,
the
what's
question.
44 minus 17? Echo, what's 44 minus 17?
44 minus 17 is 27.
Yeah, eat my ass, all of you guys. Okay, so Echo, what's 68 plus 27?
68 plus 27 is 95.
Holy
Well,
cow.
there you
That's
go.
the young one.
Yes.
Right.
The old one's
Right.
got to be long
Oh,
gone.
I would hope.
Well,
She
Google
probably-
it. Google it. See if she's still alive.
Okay, well, I don't know her
Yeah.
name. I didn't know either
You
one
don't
of their
even
names.
know her name?
No, I was playing. Have I not ever told you this story? I was playing piano in a bar illegally, and they picked me up. It was two of them. They were on a girls' weekend or whatever, and there was an old guy that was hanging out with the 65-year-old, and he just booked it and left me with these two women.
Was he old, like 68?
No, yeah, he was old. He was old. And he just took off and left me with these two women. Well, so eventually, you know, I had intercourse with the 44-year-old. She was pretty hot. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. She was pretty hot, but she was kind of dumb and, you know, and just wasn't, you know, it just wasn't an
Well,
interesting.
can we say she's having sex with a 17-year-old?
Right.
So she's not smart.
Correct. Good point. And they knew how old I was, too. So that's a good point, Lady Diagnosis. This is a very good point. But I was so nervous I couldn't complete the transaction. So we were screwing and screwing and screwing and just on and on and on and on. And finally, you know, she fell asleep and I said, well, I guess we're done. And that's how exciting I was, maybe. But I mean, it was 6:30 in the morning. I just sort of laid there for a minute. I said, well, I better get out of here. The sun's coming up. And that's when I got out of bed, got my clothes on, and then I was trying to sneak out of there, and the 65-year-old goes, "Hello, doll."
Oh my God!
And and then I realized I was having intercourse with the fun girls from Andy Griffith. You remember them?
Yes.
You remember that? The one who said, "Oh, baby," and then the other one said, "Hello, doll." Well, anyway, she says, "Hello, doll," to me, and I'm like, "Oh, hi," and she said, I watched you, doll. And I'm like, oh my God. And she said, and then, she said, I was awake. We kept her awake and she watched us. And then she said the thing that scarred me for life. She looked at me and said, "I masturbated, doll." And I was like, oh my God. And I said, "Well, I got to go." And she goes, "Why don't you stick around?" And I'm like, "Nah, I really got to go." And she goes like, "Why?" And it's like, well, because, the sun's coming up. And then she took a glass of water.
I got to go back to high school.
Yeah.
And biology starts in 40 minutes.
7:15. I got to go.
I was on summer break, but still, that's hilarious. And so she takes a glass of water that was on her nightstand, and she had one of those silky things on, like nightgown, like that old lady silky kind of thing.
Yeah, like your grandma would wear.
Yeah. But it was silky. It was
like a moo-moo.
No, it was silk. It was really thin fabric. Okay. And she took this glass and went, oops, and she poured it on her chest. And then now we're talking about a wet T-shirt situation, except it was silk, which I still have a thing about this, okay? So she takes my hand with her hand. And she rubs it all over like we need to rub,
the water off.
Yeah, we need to rub the water off. And so she takes my hand and is just rubbing it all over her
talk
tits.
Slower, Steve.
I know. And then I was so freaked out, I just said, I gotta go. So I left. And this is one of my biggest regrets that I didn't stay.
Left her hanging?
I did, yeah.
Oh.
Well, she could, obviously she was, she was okay with masturbating to me and her friend, which is just
at
so
least she
weird.
didn't join in. That would have been awkward.
It would have been awesome.
Or awesome, I meant.
But anyway, yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm telling the story of statutory, R word.
Yeah.
Of a male, but I was
Plus, you're knocking her talents.
I was a very willing participant. It was still, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. That it was just in retrospect. I just thought that's how you were, it was supposed to be.
Yeah, nothing like my first time.
Really? Do you want to talk about it?
I don't remember it.
Oh, really? Uh-oh.
I mean, I know it happened. But...
Did you give consent?
Well, yeah.
Okay. So you just don't remember it?
Yeah,
it's like I don't remember the last.
Special.
Oh, okay, I see. Phew, it scared me for a minute.
Wasn't a scary thing.
Yeah,
it was just, not memorable.
Yeah.
I don't remember mine either.
I think it's different for men and for women.
Really?
Well, yeah.
Well, unless it's like some super romantic thing.
Yeah.
Like the love of your life the very first time.
Yeah, the first time's always just kind of so tawdry,
Yeah. Like for me, it was all emotional and love. And I'm sure for him, it was like, I'm getting laid.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
tits,
exciting.
Tits.
Yeah. I think that's how it is for teenage guys, but for girls, it's very different, very emotional.
You're it's going through your head, the wedding and the reception
and when
the
it
children and all that stuff, and the guy's just screaming tits in his head.
Yeah.
That's that one word bouncing around his brain.
And that's pretty easy to live up to those expectations.
Yeah.
Because, women have tits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But for women and females, the expectations that we have, it just never.
Yeah. But it's weird that you don't remember that then.
Yeah. Movies just really spoil it.
Oh,
us,
yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't happen that way.
Mm-mm.
I don't think it happens that way until you're a lot older.
Yeah, if ever.
30s.
For a lot of people.
If ever, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, that's very interesting perspective.
Well, that's very interesting.
Yes.
That's very interesting.
Please stop bullshitting.
Okay. All right. Very interesting. Well, thank you. And what else do we need to talk about? Did you have anything else?
We've covered poop.
You've covered
no
poop.
Means no. Sex.
STDs.
No sex.
STDs.
Yeah,
Don't go to Florida, you'll get syphilis.
Yeah.
Or the stomach plague.
Or at least you can try. You can try to get syphilis.
You can treat
We're not
syphilis.
saying you're going to get one.
You can
You can try really hard.
You can treat chlamydia. You can treat gonorrhea. You can treat syphilis. What's the problem?
Exactly.
Yeah. Herpes, that shit don't go
That
away.
one, no.
Yeah, that was also good.
Yeah, they got to come up with a herpes vaccine. so that that one's not a problem.
Well, there's condoms.
I think that's
that's disgusting.
It's because you're an idiot.
Oh my God!
He's a fucking idiot.
Oh well, shut up, Kevin.
Can you see herpes under a purple light?
No.
Oh, that would be fun.
That's a good question.
Yeah, if you could tell you were shedding,
Yeah.
that would be good. But
like on your cell phone, just flip your light on.
Yeah.
And go,
I mean, herpes really is, though, on the genitals, is just a cold sore on your genitals.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be as big of a deal as it is now. I remember Time magazine, long time ago, had the Scarlet Age. And that was when people were just starting to talk about herpes, publicly. And at the time, there wasn't any Valtrex or any of that kind of stuff, so it was a little bit of a problem. But still, unless you're pregnant and delivering a baby, that's when herpes is, herpes encephalitis is a problem. And people go, well, cold sores on the lip, that's no big deal, but that's herpes as well. And people think, oh, well, that's the good herpes. Herpes 1 is the good herpes, and herpes 2, genital herpes, is the bad herpes.
Mm-hmm.
But listen.
None of them are good.
Right. Well, herpes 1 is even worse. That's the one that causes herpes encephalitis in adults. Mm-hmm. So it's really worse. Yeah. Herpes 2 doesn't do shit.
Yeah.
It just gives you a cold sore on your genitals every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you get herpes 1 on your genitals, you most of the time will not have outbreaks like you do with herpes simplex 2,
right
because it doesn't like living in the genitals as much as it likes living in the mouth, and vice versa. So kind of interesting. They're trophic for those areas. They will live there if they have to, but they don't like it.
Right.
All right.
Well, good advice. I always told my kids that when they have sex, one, to wait till they get older, but if they decided not to, always do it with the lights on. And if it looks weird or smells weird,
don't do it.
It is weird, and don't have sex with it.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
That's some good advice.
Yeah. Yeah, you're talking about the guy, right? Not their genitals. They look
general.
weird and smell weird. You shouldn't be having sex with them either.
Yeah,
And
but if their genitals look weird,
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
or smell weird,
every
stay away from it.
professional sex worker will tell you that they look at the male genitals before they'll let them, even with the condom on, put it in them.
Oh, yeah.
And so we can learn from that.
Mm-hmm. And if you can't see it, don't bother.
Oh, you mean if it's...
If you can't see what?
Well, if it's so small you can't see it.
Oh,
you mean.
it. Okay.
Yeah. If they have an innie.
Oh, so. The wheels have officially come off.
Oh, now you're being the whole.
No, hell no. That's funny.
Guys, let's not
They
talk
need
about
love too.
That's right.
All right. Have you guys heard anything about the 100-day cough?
No.
All right. I think I know what it is, but here's the question.
Hello, Fluid family.
Oh.
What do you know about this little thing coming through Texas that they're calling the 100-day cough? I've got several employees that have just had an ongoing, nagging, brutal cough.
Yeah.
Sounds like RSV.
No, it's not. RSV won't cause a 100-day cough.
Yeah.
Can you think of?
It'll linger,
Can you think of what would? Why do we have to keep renaming these things? There's nothing new.
Gosh, maybe COVID?
What
No,
about
not COVID.
pertussis?
Yes, ding, 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 ding.
Give thyself a bell.
Oh my God. You're amazing.
Yes, it's whooping cough.
Yeah,
That's what
okay.
they have. It's
I went to
pertussis.
For a while.
If old Opie and Anthony listeners may remember when Anthony got whooping cough, and it was 6 weeks, and if Jimmy or Opie made him laugh, he would just get in these racking fits of coughing. And I advocated at that time that SiriusXM really should. Now, I'm not a mandate person when it comes to mRNA vaccines and stuff like that for lots of reasons we've discussed. But there are reasons to sometimes mandate or strongly recommend certain vaccines, and the pertussis vaccine for adults is one of them. Mm-hmm. And when you've got a building, well, it was 2 floors, but you got 2 floors full of people who are doing radio.
Yeah.
If you had pertussis sweep through there because it's extremely contagious, it would shut them down.
Yeah.
And of course, the health officer at SiriusXM didn't listen to me, and then they didn't have a pertussis outbreak, but they might someday if they don't, push that. But that would be one, to me, would be something I would strongly recommend as an employer of people who are talking for a living. Because, it's with my lung thing, I sometimes get fits of coughing. I did a live stream last night. I had to stop in the middle of it because of that. And you can just imagine if you've got this. So anyway, pertussis is it's a Corynebacterium, right? Is that right? I think it is a Corynebacterium, and it is treatable. But the problem with look that one up, will you? And I feel like that's wrong. If you treat it with antibiotics, you'll kill the bacteria, but the cough doesn't go away. The inflammation gets set up. So it's way better to prevent disease by taking the vaccine. And it's in the DPT, diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. Does it say what bacteria causes pertussis? Melby, it looks like you found something.
The Bordetella.
Bordetella pertussis.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to tell you, don't do that.
Yeah,
don't.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'll fix it later.
I tried to move it and it fell.
Yeah, I know. You have to grab the cage, but it's okay. Who was here last week that did
Rain?
That? Yeah, Rain did the same thing. So you're in good company.
Okay.
All right. But anyway, yeah, Bordetella pertussis. Thank you. Corynebacteria is a different damn thing. That is that diphtheria? I don't even remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's been so long since I've done infectious disease that Corynebacterium, diphtheria. There you go. All right. I'm not going to give myself a bell.
Which is all in the Tdap vaccine.
That
right?
is correct. Oh, that's why I've thought of that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Anyway, so 100-day cough is pertussis. Stop renaming these things because what it does is it causes fear. The media does this, where they'll go, oh, there's an outbreak of a new 100-day cough. And it's like, it's not new. And it's just because they're unvaccinated.
Yep.
Just shut up and stop trying to scare people by saying, oh, there's this new thing out there. People, it's almost like the weathermen. The weather person never gets to do that much. They are the jokey one, and they tell jokes, and then they tell you, what the temperature is outside until there's a tornado or a polar vortex or a downdraft or something. And then that's when they shine, right? And they love it. And so sometimes I think they maybe make a bigger deal out of some things than they need to, because nobody's there to say, well, this is bullshit, because they are the meteorologist, And I'm not saying all TV meteorologists do this, but I think some do, and I've seen them do it. So, and I used to work in TV. I've seen it. But it's the same kind of thing. Is that there's no infectious disease news right now. So there are some people that honed their craft and got their chops reporting on COVID, and now there isn't a whole lot going on. So now we invent the 100-day cough.
There you go.
But it's nothing new, or they don't know any better, and that's just as bad, if not worse. If you're going to be reporting on this, just say, hey, there's a pertussis outbreak. If you want to report on it at all, what's the big deal? Unless you want to encourage people to get the vaccine. Okay? All right. Here's a good one for Dr. Scott.
Hey, Dr. Steve. It's Albert from Albuquerque.
Hey,
How
Albert.
You doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Great.
Good.
Hope everybody else is doing good there, too.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, listen, I got a quick question. My siblings have recently seen an article or seen a video on grounding, providing a better than normal ground to the earth as a anti-inflammatory and all sorts of health benefits type things. And it's done via a bed sheet.
Okay, so at first I was like, okay, if they're ham radio operators, yes, you need to ground your radios in an excellent ground. I can talk about that, how to create a good earth ground that you can tie everything to, so you don't get ground loop, noise and stuff like that. No, that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about taking your mattress and grounding it. to earth ground. And not only that, they're not really using earth ground. They're floating. They're using the floating ground. You're just plugging it in the wall and using the electrical ground of your house.
It's grounded. Hopefully your house is grounded.
Hopefully, but sometimes they float.
Yes.
But anyway.
They lay on that's plugged into the grounding outlet or grounding stud of an outlet.
If you're really going to do this, run a grounding wire to the outside. I can teach you how to do that. It's not, you want a big giant copper rod.
And you wrap it around the big copper rod that's driven into the dirt.
That's right. You want it driven deeply into the dirt. Yeah, ram that rod deep into the dirt.
Deep.
Lady Diagnosis likes rods driven into the dirt. I don't want to know anymore.
Your house ground. The curious thing to me would be, I don't know what the potential of the ground is between the sheet and that connection. But I'm curious from your perspective and Dr. Scott's perspective with that wacky Chinese stuff, is there any validity to this? NIH had a study, a very small study on wound healing.
Right.
And it seemed to accelerate wound health or wound regrowth.
Right. So the answer is that study, I think if we're talking about the same study, had 20 people in it. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't large enough study to prove anything. So if I could do like 10 studies with 10 people and then just pick the one that has some, statistically shows some benefit. But I say, this study was too small to show statistical benefit. But you could publish it and take the other 9 sets of data and throw it away. It's very unethical. Mm-hmm. It's called p-hacking, and it's where you're looking for p-values, p-values being an indicator of statistical significance. So a p of less than 0.05 means that 5 times out of 100, this thing would be due to chance. And we figure that that's a good enough, it's called 5 sigma, and that's a decent statistical significance. That's what we look for. That's the level. And so I could do a study, like I said, 9 studies of 20 people. Mm-hmm. Take one of them where statistically I just had an improvement, or the people healed their wounds faster than the other, the control group, and I'll publish that one. Throw all the other studies away. Now, if I pooled all that data, because I did 9 identical studies and only took the data that I liked, if I pooled all of that, I'm going to basically guarantee you that there's no statistically significant difference between the two. Now, this is an easy study to do. If you are selling grounded mattresses, just do the freaking study and do it correctly. Mm-hmm. Don't give us this bullshit, 20 people study. Do a real study. Take 1,000 people and give 500 of them your mattress, matched cohorts, 500, a mattress when they plug it in, it doesn't actually make a connection to ground. And then show me that there's a statistically significant difference in whatever endpoint you decide, whether it's wound healing, sexual, gratification, or whatever, because they claim all kinds of stuff. But we are designed to float above ground. We are sacks of meat that usually are not grounded. And they'll say that's bad. I say that's a normal status for us. We do have electrical circuits in our body, but we don't want to ground them. We want them to be active. So, and when you shuffle your feet on a carpet and then get a shock, that's basically you're building up electrons on one side of that equation and transferring it rapidly to the other, and that's what makes that spark. And that's what they say on this is that you were doing this so that you could more readily exchange electrons with ground. Shut up. Mm-hmm. That's like, did you ever get trained in therapeutic touch?
No.
Okay, so that is a nursing intervention where they just wave their hands over the patient and they don't actually touch them. And what they'll say is that they are manipulating bioenergy fields. It's like, why are you making up things? Just say that the process of doing it makes people feel better, if it does, because it does. You're paying attention to people. People like that. They like being recognized. They like being paid attention to, and it makes them feel better. And you don't have to make up some phony baloney mechanism for it. It's enough to say that doing this process makes people feel better, and we don't know why.
Well, I think the heat of the hands can stimulate
a foot above
energy.
the patient. Fuck off.
It's not a foot above. Isn't it like Reiki kind of like that?
I've seen them where the
'Cause
patient's
they-
laying in the bed and they're just like doing like this, manipulating. Yeah, 6 inches to a foot.
Dr. Steve, you have so much to learn in this.
Well, no, get out of here. Okay,
My hands are.
I am willing.
My hand.
I am.
They're cold.
I could do it right now.
I am willing.
feel
I
it.
know.
They're
I've
always
done that too, where you move your
feel it.
hands and you feel the
feel
ball of energy and all this
Correct.
stuff.
called being a mom?
There is real physiologic reasons why you have that perception, but I'm willing, that notwithstanding, willing to be convinced that they are actually manipulating a bioenergy field. All they have to do is show it to me, measure it before and after, show me that it changed because you waved your hands over them. And I'm not just talking about therapeutic touch. I'm not just crapping on that. There's all kinds of these maneuvers where they say they're manipulating bioenergy fields.
Well, you know what they did that under microscopy, where the monks actually prayed over molecules of water.
Yeah, I remember.
And they actually changed the molecular structure of the water of the ones they prayed over. Now, that is,
Amazing.
science. And it's proven that you can do. The thing is, I think that, and Steve's right to a certain point, a lot of it is placebo.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody feels like you're
And that's
doing.
fine.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, a
I have
lot of
no
it is,
problem with that.
but a lot of it is if they have faith in what you're doing, you can help them for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have your best heart, and I know him, and I've seen him in clinic, 1,000 times, he's going to have a better outcome than most anybody. Just because when he walks in, the people feel better. They feel like he cares, and that's vital. When you're talking about can you.
He's got a good point, and not just about me, but if you have a shit bedside manner, people are not going to feel better, and when they get angry, they feel worse.
Yeah, they're getting worse. Yeah, yeah. So I do believe there are some studies. I mean, if you did maybe some thermal imaging of someone's hands,
right,
that says they're doing some qigong stuff, I believe you could see some changes.
Right,
possibly. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I'm going to tell you this. I'm fine with the placebo effect. I even wrote an editorial, decrying the making up of things like this. Don't make stuff up. Mm-hmm. But if you don't like the term placebo, because people go, "Oh, yours works by the placebo effect," people will go, "Oh, no, it does not. It has, and it's like, it's okay. The placebo effect is so powerful,
huge,
that we have to subtract it from every single study that we ever do. So how about this? Let's not call it the placebo effect. If you think that is a pejorative connotation, call it the cryptogenic therapeutic effect. And then you don't have to make up anything. You just say, my technique works by the cryptogenic therapeutic effect. And you're not saying placebo, even though the two are synonymous. But you're not saying placebo, and you don't have to feel like you're minimizing what you're doing. Because if it makes people feel better, I'm not going to minimize it.
No.
I always sent people to Dr. Scott when he and I first started working together, because I had people that I had ruled out that they had anything was going to kill them, but they felt like shit. And I'd send them to him, and they'd always feel better. So I don't care if his ninth meridian, third pulse stuff is bullshit, or if it's real. It doesn't matter. It works, and it makes people feel better. Now, I am going to tell you, I'm going to bust your bubble a little bit. They did a triple-blind study on Emoto. That was the guy that was praying over water, and there was no effect. So, there you go. But does it matter?
Well, our post-COVID clinic, a lot of the people come in there, excuse me, and they say that they're just happy that someone's listening.
Right, right.
And then in a couple of visits,
and then they go away.
I mean, some of them really do have problems that we have to address, but a lot of them, they just, a couple times we change their diet, we listen to them. It's an hour and a half we listen to them each time.
Yep.
And then they're fine.
We had to watch a video when I was in medical school of this guy was in somewhere in Polynesia, And he was the village doctor. And what he did was he took palm fronds and just shook it over people. And we were like, how is that doing anything? And what our professor said was, what he is doing is an act of recognition, which is what people crave. He spent time with them. He recognized their problem. And just like a lot of your patients, they actually will get better if they didn't do anything. 90% of my, well, not my patients, but when I was in primary care, 90% of my patients would get better if I never did anything.
Right. They just want to know kind of what's wrong for the most part.
Yeah, they want it named.
Yep.
That was
and
what
you acknowledge.
Scott,
and will it kill them?
And that was what Scott could do. That was great. Was he always had a name for it. If I didn't, he would have a name. Well, you've got malodorous chi or something, or
liver
whatever.
chi stagnation.
Yeah. But it was a name.
I know it is a real thing.
And it really made a huge difference. And this guy would name stuff, and he'd shake the palm fronds and stuff, and he had really good results because he was engaging in a process of recognition of the patient. So
healing. He's engaging in healing.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and that led to healing. So, yep. So, Dr. Scott, do you have anything from the fluid family?
I don't have anything.
Okay, I've got.
They were enjoying the show too much to ask questions.
Oh, good. I've got one. Let me see. Live Ween said, "I have a whole new perspective on Myrtle, having heard that story." Well, you little fella, you want to stick around, and old Myrtle will give you a good time. She surely will.
Give me a glass of water.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to spill this corn squeezing on my teats, don't you know? They're down to my waist, but... Anyway, I just went visual, and it stopped me in my track.
Oh, I love it.
Anyway, all right. Okay, yeah, I don't see any questions in there, and do we have any new members? No, we're good. Okay, all right, excellent. Why be a new member? No reason whatsoever. No, it's fine. Somebody gave out 50 new memberships last time, and I think they covered everybody. Plus some.
Yeah, plus the next 3 weeks.
But thank you all for doing that. If you want to hang out with the Fluid family, it's youtube.com/@weirdmedicine, and just join the live chat. And there you go. You got anything else?
No, thank you, Dr. D.
Are we out of here?
I think we're good.
All right. Thanks to everyone who's made this show happen over the years. Thanks, Dr. Scott. Thanks, Lady Diagnosis. And thank you, NP Mel B. Listen to our SiriusXM show on the Faction Talk channel, SiriusXM channel 103, Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, on demand. Other times at Jim McClure's pleasure. Many thanks to our listeners whose voicemail and topic ideas make this job very easy. Go to our website at drsteve.com for schedules, podcasts, and other crap. Check out Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net. Until next time, check your stupid nuts for lumps. Quit smoking, get off your asses, and get some exercise. We'll see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine. Thanks, everybody.